Well, it's a rematch and a showdown here in Moraga between the San Diego Toreros taking on your St. Mary's Gales. The first time these two teams met, it was an overtime thriller as San Diego outlasted St. Mary's. The Gales look to flip the script tonight in their second and final meeting against San Diego. Hello, everyone. Evan Giddings with you. Going to be joined soon by Dr. Joaquin Wallace, as always, on the WCC Network here inside University Credit Union Pavilion in Moraga. St. Mary's, a team that right now is trying to break a three-game skid. Meanwhile, the Toreros on the other side are coming off a win their last time out after dropping two. St. Mary's currently staring up at San Diego in the standings, albeit by one game. 10-11 overall for St. Mary's entering tonight, 4-6 in the WCC, officially in 6th place. But again, a game out of 4th. And the team they are trying to tie stands in front of them this evening. It's the San Diego Toreros, who are 11-10. 5-5 in the West Coast Conference. As I mentioned, the first time these two teams met at the tail end of December, it was a close battle and one that St. Mary's nearly had in hand. But coming from down by 16 points in the second half, using an extra overtime period, San Diego was able to outlast St. Mary's on the road. Now again, that was down in sunny San Diego. Here, on Saturday night, it's a chance for St. Mary's to defend home court and finish out this four-game homestand on a high note. They have gone through the gauntlet of the WCC, and they feel ready for this test tonight, as starting last week, taking on the second team in the conference in Portland, then hosting 16th-ranked Gonzaga, currently undefeated in the WCC. They fell their last time out on Thursday night to BYU by 15, the third team in the WCC. And so now the 4th-ranked team right now in the conference is San Diego. They will get them all the 4 best teams in the conference in 4 consecutive games. And St. Mary's feels like they have a chance to topple the Toreros here tonight. And one of the big reasons, perhaps the biggest reason, is the return of their star and their top scorer, top rebounder. That is Ali Bamberger, who has missed each of the last 3 games, was injured in the first half against Portland, missed Gonzaga, as well as BYU. But they get her back against San Diego, not a better time for it. She will come off the bench tonight, but still have a chance to reclaim some of her status, and had a career game the first time that St. Mary's played San Diego. Ali Bamberger had 24 points to go along with 24 rebounds, a career high for her, and just not far off of the program's single-game record for St. Mary's. So they hope for something big off the bench from Bamberger tonight. Still no Claire Steele for St. Mary's. On the other side for San Diego, they are missing their freshman star, Veronica Sheffy, who had 16 points in the 4th quarter of the first meeting between these two teams. So St. Mary's gets a piece back. San Diego has lost a piece between these first two, and now we get a chance to see them go toe-to-toe here tonight. Aspen Garrison opposite. It'll be Amanda Ollinger doing the tip, and it is won momentarily by St. Mary's and taken by San Diego. So glad you could join us tonight here on the WCC Network. Evan Giddings, and soon to be joined by Dr. Joaquin Wallace with you. San Diego featuring a starting 5 of Kira Oakrey, their top scorer, along with Ayana Calfani. Maya Pace, the grad student who has been one of the best scorers in program history for San Diego, grabbed the offensive rebound there, along with Casey Newbert and the aforementioned Ollinger. 5 on the floor this evening for St. Mary's will be the 3-guard rotation of Tacey Whedon, Taylor Dalton, and Leah Hannafin, along with the front court of Hannah Rapp and Aspen Garrison, coming off a career-best 15-point performance in the loss against BYU. So she is starting in the stead of Bamberger, who returns tonight. We will see her off the bench, but St. Mary's gets a stop to begin their first defensive possession. On offense now, Rapp to Garrison. Had some luck from 16 feet against BYU with that J. Falls just short there, and San Diego's into the front court. Maya Pace, who's got over 1,000 career points in her storied career with the Toreros. Now with it on the outside, she needs 10 more points to move to 19th into the top 20 in all-time scorers in San Diego program history. Down on the block, being defended by Whedon. Goes into the chest of Whedon, but falls short with that shot. And Rapp comes away with the rebound. Leah Hannafin, who had 8 first-half points, demonstrated some sharp shooting in the first half against BYU, was St. Mary's really lone form of offense. Taylor Dalton tries to drive inside and misses her layup. And here's Kira Oakrey. Oakrey, the lefty redshirt senior out of San Diego, California, averaging 11 points this year to lead the Toreros. They're not a team that scores in bunches, but they are a team that will turn you over, and that has been an Achilles heel of St. Mary's, especially against BYU their last time out. Offensive foul drawn by Aspen Garrison there. Casey Newbert is called for the charge. That'll be her first personal, first team foul. 2 minutes into this ball game, still no score. St. Mary's rocking those home alternate gray uniforms. Gales across the chest in navy blue with the white trim. And there's Tacey Whedon, who scores the game's first bucket. Whedon had double digits against the Cougars on Thursday, as she now scored 10 plus in 6 of her last 8 games. Shooting 42% from downtown this year. Oakery goes inside, nearly gets the shooter's touch off the rim, but instead will get free throws. And this is really where San Diego has made a living the entire year. It has been at the free throw line. I mean, they are a team that gets to the stripe better than most across the country. And when you look at the amount of makes and takes that they have gotten this year, it is certainly something to keep an eye on. Kerry Oakery has been at the forefront of the free throws that they're taking this year. Makes her first shot. Oakery ranks second in the WCC and in the top 100 nationally in free throw attempts made. As a team, the Toreros lead the WCC in free throw attempts per game. They take about 19, and they make 13 of them. So not incredibly efficient, but still, when they get to the line almost 20 times a game, you're going to get some free points. Oakery connected on her first 2. Hannafin to Hannah Rapp, open from 3. Misses right. Oakery into the front court. Whedon keeps her in front, finds the open shooter. There's Maya Pace, rounding out, and a rebound by Ayana Calfani, who kicks it out. Somewhat of an upper-class, heavy San Diego team. Oakery, Calfani, along with Pace, Newbert, and Olinger, all starting 5 for San Diego, a senior, 4 or more years. And as one of those upperclassmen, Newbert goes off glass. San Diego's got its first lead here. Rapp now. Now a swing pass to Dalton. Three-pointer is good. Taylor Dalton knocks home St. Mary's first triple. Response the other way from Newbert. Back-to-back buckets. The first time these two teams met, St. Mary's controlled the majority of that ball game until, unfortunately, they squandered a 16-point lead in the second half. Hannah Rapp going at pace, looking to cross over. Nearly lost the handle, but right to Whedon. With 8 to shoot. Rapp with a foot on the line. Unable to connect on the long 2. And Newbert, once again, that's Olinger that goes inside. And right now, San Diego taking it to the paint against St. Mary's. Allie Bamberger quickly and off the bench scores her first points. Again, she had a magnificent game against San Diego the first time these two teams met this year. 23 points, a career high 24 rebounds for Bamberger, along with 5 blocks in that ball game. St. Mary's in kind of a shell defense here as Pace drives inside, creates contact, gets her own putback, misses the second attempt, goes right to Calfani, who gets hit and will go to the free throw line. And that's going to be on Whedon. So first personal and the second team foul for St. Mary's, who makes a trio of substitutions. Bamberger quickly out. Again, has missed about 2.5 games, so interim head coach Allison Fasnack trying to keep Bamberger fresh as Amy West along with Garrison check in. McKenna Mastora also in for the first time for St. Mary's. Now the free throw line is really where this game could be won and lost for St. Mary's. It's not easy keeping San Diego off the stripe. And now a foul is committed in the backcourt. Not a smart play by Calfani. And just a cheapie picked up by Ayana. That'll be her first personal and the second team foul. But in their first meeting on the 29th of December, 17 free throws by St. Mary's as Oakley off the turnover in transition glides in for 2. Meanwhile, San Diego in that game took 43 free throws. And it's going to be difficult to beat any team when they get to the line that much. So again, it's not about stopping them from getting their, about their average 20 times. Whedon, 4-3. And Tacey Whedon, the conference's all-time best shooter, spots up from distance. But it's about limiting the amount of free throws that San Diego can get. And of course, also keeping yourself out of foul trouble. Olinger thought about the 3. 4 minutes to play here in the first. St. Mary's trailing by a basket. Newbert looking for the high-low. Instead goes at Garrison. Nice job of defending without fouling by Aspen Garrison. Wrap to the open shooter. Whedon, front rim. Those are the type of looks that St. Mary's would love. Meanwhile, San Diego gets one of its own in transition. Great pass up ahead, and it's Kylie Hortsmeyer that finishes, plus the foul. Media timeout will be taken. Tail end of the three-point play coming up on the other side. 3:47 left. San Diego ahead by 4. It's Evan Giddings with you on the WCC Network. You're watching St. Mary's women's basketball on the WCC Network. Out of the media timeout, a chance to complete the three-point play for San Diego, leading St. Mary's here inside University Credit Union Pavilion, 14-10, 3:47 left here in the first. Evan Giddings going to be joined soon by Dr. Joaquin Wallace with you here on the WCC Network. St. Mary's trying to break a 3-game losing streak, and San Diego currently a game ahead of them in the standings in 4th place in the conference. Free throw missed. Dalton quickly up ahead. Mastora from the corner. That was halfway home. McKenna Mastora, who has really found her touch from three-point range, especially in conference play, just off the mark there. St. Mary's 2 of 5 in the early goings from downtown. Meanwhile, San Diego has missed its one look from 3. Make it a second as Oakley is off the mark. And that will head out of play. St. Mary's basketball. Allie Bamberger back into the game, making her return after a right knee sprain that she suffered against Portland 3 games ago. Also Jade Kirisome joining Amy West, Mastora, and Dalton on the floor. Dalton all the way to the cup and gets hit on the arm by Calfani. So Taylor Dalton speeding to the lane And we'll go to the free throw line for the first time by Gale tonight. Maya Pace returning for San Diego. Taylor Dalton's first free throw is good. Dalton had a relatively quiet game. First time these two teams met at the tail end of December. 3 of 7 and 9 points for St. Mary's third leading scorer, and drains both free throws. So the Gales down by a basket. San Diego won that first meeting 69-65 in overtime. A steal by St. Mary's. Dalton bounce pass. West had to go up quicker than I looked like she thought. And instead it's San Diego that's off to the races. Pull up J by Newbert. No, but gets the long rebound and keeps it in. Excellent hustle play by Newbert. Toreros want to go fast down to the paint. And now they'll kick it to the corner. 10 to shoot here for Horstmeyer. Was one of 2 Toreros with double digits. First time these teams played. Thought she got fouled driving to the basket. Instead, it's off of St. Mary's. Where the referees are saying got a piece of that shot. Officials tonight, Melissa Barlow, Lorena Ahamuda, along with Sheree Mitchell. Pace off the inbounds. Has that pass go all the way to the opposite scores table, and then with 2 to shoot, San Diego had to hoist. St. Mary's a nice stop on defense there. Dalton, now to Kirasome. Will back it out. Dalton, backdoor cut. Extra pass, Bamberger. Lefty, off the window and good. Tic-tac-toe by the Gales. Well, that interior passing got them into some trouble against BYU with 17 turnovers, but so far so good. St. Mary's in their passing has been on point against a team that turns teams over. The third highest rate in the conference. High arcing 3 from Amanda Ollinger. Had a career high 17 points in her last game against Pacific. Maintains the hot hand here tonight. Kirasome, her bounce pass. Stripped by Pace. Pace up ahead. In her 5th year. Out of Oakland, California. Attended nearby Bishop O'Dowd. And of course, loves coming home here to the Bay Area. A homecoming for Maya Pace, and someone who has racked up over 1,000 career points in her years at San Diego. Under a minute to play now in the first. Pace to a cutter. There's Horstmeyer. Goes high off the glass. So San Diego takes the 2-for-1. And now 16-second separation, pardon me, shot clock and game clock. McKenna Mastora feeds Dalton. Dalton crosses over and has it blocked by the weak side help. Newbert then keeps it in right to West. Dalton, Kirasome, the extra pass. Mastora cannot connect. Shot clock turned off. San Diego with a final look if they want it. Instead, Horstmeyer will pull up for the short 2 and drain it. So St. Mary's will get the final look. 10 seconds to shoot. Kirasome towards the end of the corner, kicks it out. It's stolen by Horstmeyer at the horn. She's got to get it up. It's a running floater, and she just misses. So St. Mary's avoids disaster at the end of the first quarter as San Diego finishes strong. 7-point edge for the Toreros. Second quarter action coming up next on the WCC Network. Evan Giddings, you're watching St. Mary's women's basketball. San Diego with back-to-back buckets to end the first quarter as we begin the second with Toreros leading here on the road against your St. Mary's Gales, 21-14. 5 points in the first quarter from both Tacey Whedon and Taylor Dalton. As down low on the block, Allie Bamberger, who had a couple of baskets, misses just off the mark, but a second chance opportunity off the offensive rebound. Whedon, a step back. Her shot is long. Outlet pass for Pace, who finds Hortzmeyer. Had those last two baskets of the first quarter for San Diego. Shooting just 42% in the first quarter. St. Mary's, however, shooting 30%. Straight away triple from Olinger. And that one misses. She hit one from the same spot at the 3-minute mark of the first. Wrap up ahead. Garrison wide open, and not an easier basket can be found tonight. San Diego just lost track of Aspen Garrison, who again was coming off a career-high 15-point performance against BYU. Into the lane goes Jess Finney. Came in after the break of the quarters. Could not connect as Rapp stops and floats it over the top of Olinger. Got it over the 6'3" forward, and Hannah Rapp finishes for St. Mary's. And so St. Mary's, strong start to the quarter. Defensively looking for another stop. That's where it starts, according to interim head coach Allison Fasnacht. Finney from downtown misses that from Bamberger. Again, playing in the game, first game over the last three. Grabs the rebound. Whedon thought about the quick triple. Instead, St. Mary's gets into its offense, and Dalton reverses it. A hesitation from the Gales at the 6-0 run, and Cindy Fisher wants time. Taylor Dalton right there underneath, and the Gales are within one. Timeout on the floor, 8:10 to play here in the second quarter. 3 of the last 3 from the floor. When we return, more St. Mary's women's basketball on the WCC Network. A 6-0 run for St. Mary's out of the second quarter, and they have drawn themselves within one here at home against San Diego. Looking to split the season series after falling in an overtime thriller at the end of December against the Toreros down in sunny San Diego. Backdoor cutting Calfani is there. Her shot comes up short. Hannafin rips down the rebound for St. Mary's. Gales led by 7 points from Taylor Dalton, but a balanced offensive attack. As right now, St. Mary's have 5 different scores so far tonight. Bamberger's pass towards Garrison is deflected out, but that's off of a Torero. And Hannafin will get it side out. Evan Giddings with you on the WCC Network here. And Hannah Rapp will get a fresh shot clock after Oakry kicked that one. Well, again, the Gales have really just gone through the gauntlet each of the past 3 games here at home. Started with the Portland Pilots, who are 9-1 in second place. Then Gonzaga, who's 10-0 in first place. Before BYU on Thursday, who's 7-3 in third place. Handle wrap, elbow jump shot, and St. Mary's has taken the lead. St. Mary's first lead since the opening minute of the ball game. So they've figured some things out to begin this second quarter. 8-0 run continued by the Gales, forcing San Diego into some tough shots. Newbert stepped in, and Bamberger just gave her the J, dared her to make it, and she couldn't do it. San Diego in the second quarter, 0 of 5. Hannafin to Bamberger. Tried to draw the whistle, did not as it went over the basket, and that'll be a turnover off the missed shot. Bamberger frustrated with no whistle there. We'll be interested to monitor her minutes tonight, playing her first game back off injury. In the first quarter, Bamberger played just 4 minutes. Has already played 6 minutes. Or pardon me, the first 4 minutes of the second quarter. Lefty lay-in by Calfani, the senior out of Woodland Hills, California. And now a pass up ahead to Garrison. Stops and then cannot connect from inside the paint. But a good look as the Gales have tried to speed San Diego up. Now that's something that could prove dangerous down the stretch of this game, as it did the first time they met. A 16-point comeback in the second half, spurred by San Diego's ability to turn over the Gales, as well as get to the free throw line. 3-point shot from Oakry is fouled by Hannafin, entering the shooter's space, and that'll be 3 free throws for one of the nation's best when it comes to getting to the line and converting on those free throw attempts. St. Mary's, the first time they played San Diego, turned the ball over 23 times and gifted San Diego 43 attempts to the stripe. And again, only lost by 4 and in overtime. So you'd have to imagine with a more cleanly played ball game tonight, and the absence of Veronica Sheffy, who played big as one of the conference's better freshmen for San Diego, being out tonight, that St. Mary's would be able to defend home court. San Diego is certainly not one to go down without giving their best effort. Oakry connects on the front end as Bamberger goes to the bench, and Amy West will return. Leia Hannafin committed her first personal, St. Mary's first team foul of the second quarter. And Oakry connects on all 3. San Diego is a team now 7 of 8 at the free throw line. A big reason for them being up by 4. And then they steal the inbounds. Jump shot by Calfani, in and out. And over the back foul called against Laura Erikstrup. And the junior forward out of Portland will get tagged for the whistle. Her first personal, first team foul. So St. Mary's gets a second crack at the inbounds, and they do get it in to Addison Whedon. Seen for the first time tonight. Hannafin moving into the lane and gets called for the push-off. Calfani doing a good job of moving her feet and then just letting the contact take her to the floor. That's an offensive charge 10 out of 10 times. So Hannafin, who quickly picks up 2 fouls, neither of them necessarily the smartest. Of course, a 3-point shooting foul and then the offensive foul in a matter of 15 seconds. And St. Mary's will give it right back. Pardon me, San Diego will give it right back. Both teams committed 2 fouls here in the second. Offensive foul was on Erikstrup. It's also her second personal. These two teams mirror each other in a lot of ways. Mastora from the corner. Off the mark there. Unable to find the range on her first 3 threes. Newbert, not a distant shooter, gives it up to Oakery, who now calls for Kalfani. Man-to-man defense from St. Mary's. As Mastora goes under the screen. Oakery pulls up at the free throw line. Back rim, no. Long rebound to Kalfani. Couple of offensive boards. She'll take the J and misses, but another offensive rebound for Eric Strupp. And a foul is called against Amy West on the floor. For West, her first personal, third team foul for St. Mary's, as 18th year head coach Cindy Fisher will go to her bench and bring in our Simran Kaur for the first time. Standing 6'4", the sophomore out of India, has been a nice addition to the front court for San Diego. And she'll immediately get it, pump fake, and then drive in on Amy West. A foul is called, and it looks like they're not going to give her continuation. It was on the floor. So St. Mary's racking up fouls with increasing speed here in the second quarter. Again, they did not have a personal foul on the board here in the second period until the 5:27 mark. Just a minute of game time. 4 fouls. Make it a 5th because McKenna Mastora got too handsy against Oakery, and now San Diego will get free throws. Oakery's 6th and 7th free throws upcoming here. Second personal on McKenna Mastora. So, the Gales have done a good job at not being overly handsy with San Diego, but now they have 3 different members of their team with 2 personals in the second half. Oakery doesn't make him pay for it on the first, but it'll be interesting to see how Allison Fasnacht tries to manage this ball game. Might even have to go small against a San Diego team that's already physical and offers size. So Dalton will come in for Mastora, goes to the bench with 2 personal fouls. So it's Whedon, Rapp, Dalton, Garrison, and Whedon. Garrison's also got a personal to monitor. Rapp, down low, bounce pass to Garrison, and cannot make the cannot make the layup. Meanwhile, on the other side, converting on her easy look was our Simran Kaur. So San Diego, an 8-0 run, a 7-point lead. Garrison blocked by Kaur. Kaur running the floor, and now we'll give it up. Bamberger and Kirisome both at the scores table. Entry pass is poked away, but right to the hands of Newberg. Maya Pace whips it to the corner. Newberg, a 3-pointer. Nothing but nylon. San Diego leads by double digits, and Allison Fasnacht wants time. 3:30 to play, and San Diego's on an 11-0 run over the last 2:54. We'll step aside as well. St. Mary's trying to dig out of this hole when we return. 3:30 left here in the second quarter. You're watching St. Mary's basketball on the WCC Network. Quick break and turn around here on the WCC Network. Back with 3.5 to go in the first half. San Diego on an 11-0 run has now taken a double-digit lead here on the road against your Gales inside University Credit Union Pavilion. Evan Giddings on the WCC Network with you. Kirisome out of the timeout, along with Bamberger back on the floor. Rapp trying to go through the chest of Newbert, gets called for steps. And no disagreement from the sophomore from Melbourne, Australia. So St. Mary's right now not doing itself any favors. They've done a good job at limiting the turnovers, just 6 to San Diego's 4. But the foul trouble is beginning to mount up. 8 personals, 5 of which in this second quarter. Newbert here just hit a 3 from that side, gives it up for Pace. Nearly lost the rock. 5 to shoot. Hortsmeyer now working on Whedon, has to kick it out to Carr. He's got to throw up a prayer. Nothing there. It'll be a shot clock violation. Whedon off the pass from Kirisome. Doesn't want the screen from Rapp. Instead goes inside and tries to swing it out to Dalton. Nearly stolen. St. Mary's got to be careful here. 7 seconds. Bamberger's calling for it. Whips it out. Whedon with 3 to shoot. Hits it from 3. And Tacey Whedon from long distance breaks the 11-0 run from San Diego. Somewhat of a bailout shot by the Gales, but oftentimes that's why you have those shooters, to help you out in those situations with the shot clock winding down. Pace trying to respond, cannot connect. And here's Hannah Rapp. Had an open Kirisome up ahead, but a great job by the Toreros to sniff out that look from Rapp. 4 turnovers in the last 5.5 minutes from St. Mary's. Oakery. And pushes off on Dalton, but Dalton was moving her feet, and so she'll get called for the foul on the floor. With the 5 personals, even if Dalton, along with Fasnacht, disagree with the call, that's a situation where some of those cheap fouls you picked up midway through the second quarter come back to bite you at the end. And there's not as much room, as much margin for error when it comes to those fouls, because either way you slice it, Oakery's going to the free throw line. Misses her first. And Oakery is second in the WCC and the top 100 nationally in free throws made and attempts. And now in this game alone, she's 7 of 9. She's got 9 points in 17 minutes to lead San Diego. Whedon driving on Oakery. Tries to bounce past it towards Kirisome, and it's kicked. A little under 90 seconds left. St. Mary's has held San Diego to 35% shooting from the floor. It made more threes, not even on the rebounding battle, but the difference has been the amount of possessions that the Toreros have had and been able to cash in on. Whedon, entry past Bamberger. Mid-block, working on Carr. Gives her some space, and Bamberger goes to work. Allie Bamberger looking fresh after missing the last 2 games. 6 points here in the first half. Quickly to Carr, double team. Tries to whip it inside to Newbert and then gets tied up with Rapp. That'll be a jump ball. Possession arrow keeps it here on this end for San Diego. St. Mary's certainly staying in this game in the first half. They controlled the first half in the first meeting against San Diego. It was the second half that did them in. Perhaps a flip script is on the way tonight. Jump shot at the end of the shot clock was missed by Calfani, but another offensive rebound. Number 9 in the first half for San Diego extends the possession. 10 to shoot. Calfani high off the window over the top of Kirisome. Nice touch from the senior guard. And so St. Mary's with the shot clock off. Got to go into the half at the least down by 8. And right on cue, St. Mary's commits an offensive foul. That's on Bamberger. That's going to be her first personal. An offensive foul, so not giving San Diego free throws. But Bamberger not agreeing with the call, and so 8.9 seconds for the Toreros to do some damage. Calfani going right into the lane, all the way to the rim and scoring. Well, burrowing to the rim, and Calfani gives San Diego a double-digit lead heading into the locker room. Nice finish from the senior. We'll be back with your halftime report after these messages. St. Mary's trailing by 10, 37-27. You're watching Gales basketball on the WCC Network. Back at the break here inside University Credit Union Pavilion. Evan Giddings with you on the WCC Network. San Diego stealing some points at both the ends of the first and second quarter has helped them jump out to a 37-27 lead here on the road against your St. Mary's Gales. I mean, really looking at the first period as well as the second, a 4-0 run at the tail end of the first off a couple of turnovers, and then at the end of the second period as well, it was a couple of baskets from San Diego, both off of turnovers, one a foul, that gave them essentially 8 gifted points that they capitalized on, and that has nearly been the difference in this ballgame thus far. St. Mary's as a team has shot better than San Diego, 41% to 38. They've made 3 of their 8 threes. Meanwhile, San Diego has made just 2 of 9. The difference has been at the free throw line, where San Diego is 9 of 12 to St. Mary's 2 of 2, as well as the turnover battle and points off the turnover. Right now, 8 to 5, St. Mary's has committed 3 more, 7 to 5 advantage points off turnovers for San Diego. Also, 9 offensive rebounds have given the Toreros 7 more shots in the first half, and they've been able to cash in on just enough to gain a double-digit lead. Now, the good news, if you're St. Mary's, obviously not insurmountable, and you saw it the first time these two teams met back at the tail end of December. The Gales had a 16-point lead in the second half that San Diego came from behind, tied, and then won in overtime 69-65. So if you need a reason to believe in St. Mary's being able to dig out of this hole, just look to the other team, who in this game is missing their top scorer from their last meeting, Veronica Sheffy, a freshman from Woodinville, Washington. St. Mary's, meanwhile, having Allie Bamberger back from coming off injury has been a huge boost, and she has played well so far in the first half, 6 points on 3 of 5 shooting. They'll need to get something from distance as well as some of those perimeter shots to fall, but really it comes down to taking care of the basketball, as I'm sure Allison Fasnacht has tried to correct as the interim head coach for St. Mary's over these past 3 games. St. Mary's trying to break a 3-game stretch, 3-game skid, I should say. Meanwhile, San Diego is trying to get back into the win column as they did their last time out against Pacific. Prior to that, they dropped 2 in West Coast Conference play. So 1 game separating these two sides in the conference. San Diego 5-5, St. Mary's 4-6. When we come back, we'll take a look around the rest of the conference and break down some more statistics here in this game. St. Mary's trailing by 10, back with more at the half on the WCC Network after this. Back at the break between St. Mary's and San Diego here in Moraga. The Toreros leading your Gales 37-21, despite shooting less from the field, as well as from three-point range. The difference in the first half: turnovers, points off turnovers, and second chance points, as well as offensive rebounds, all of those favoring San Diego, who has a 10-point lead. It's Kira Okri that has scored 7 of her 9 leading points for the Toreros at the break from the free throw line. Also, Ayana Calfani with 8 points, second for San Diego. On the St. Mary's side, they've been able to muster some offense consistently. 5 different Gales that have got onto the board. Tacey Whedon has led the way with 8 points, Taylor Dalton with 7, and Allie Bamberger, returning from injury today, coming off the bench, has 6 points on 5 shots. Meanwhile, looking around the rest of the conference in the WCC, a couple of games final today, only one later tonight at 7 o'clock. That is Portland hosting LMU. But earlier today, Gonzaga, behind 6 straight threes from the nation's leading three-point shooter, Bryn Maxwell, topples Pepperdine 69-49. Also, San Francisco, who is currently now even with San Diego in the WCC standings, beat Santa Clara 74-66 behind a 26-point opening quarter from the Dons. Pacific, who just lost to these San Diego Toreros on Thursday, got back into the win column by upsetting BYU at home. Ashby with 19 points. Meanwhile, Nani Falatea for BYU led the Cougars with 27. The final score there was 79-66. Pacific scored 20 or more points in all but one quarter of that basketball game as they best BYU, handing the Cougars their 4th WCC loss of the season. Pacific, meanwhile, grabs just its 3rd win in conference play. So right now, St. Mary's with 2 teams ahead of them. They have a chance to tie. One of them is on the floor right now in San Diego. And San Diego at 5-5 in the WCC. St. Mary's at 4-6 can at least get into a tie for 5th place with a win. Meanwhile, San Francisco moves ahead of them into a tie for 4th right now in the conference. Well, about 2.5 minutes left between now and second half action here in Moraga. St. Mary's trying to overcome a 10-point deficit, overcome a double-digit deficit, the same way that San Diego did to them on December 29th of 2022. So hoping to enact some revenge and hoping to dig themselves out of a hole. That's what's coming up next on the second half, as St. Mary's looking for somewhat of a consistent performance, specifically on defense, taking care of the basketball and finishing quarters strong. That's what they hope for next, and hope for a hot start of the 3rd quarter. Coming up next on the WCC Network, St. Mary's trailing by 10 after these messages. We are set for the start of the second half here inside University Credit Union Pavilion. Evan Giddings with you on the WCC Network. St. Mary's with some work to do, trailing by 10 to San Diego here at home. 37-27 the score. Again, 4 points at the end of the first quarter from San Diego, and 4 straight points at the end of the second quarter for the Toreros have been much of the difference, along with leading the offensive rebounding battle and the turnover battle. First look of the second half from St. Mary's is off the mark, and the Toreros are up ahead into the front court. Gales have led for just 90 seconds of this basketball game, as San Diego used an 11-0 stretch midway through the second quarter to create their double-digit lead. Inside is Newbert, up and under move on Garrison, doing a nice job of keeping her feet underneath her and keeping those hands up to alter the shot. Hannafin, who had a quiet first half, just 8 minutes, 2 personal fouls picked up in the span of 1 minute. Now back into the starting floor for Allison Fasnack. Rapp tried her own step-through move and was blocked by Newbert. The corner now for Oakrey. 9 points to lead the way for San Diego in the first half. 7 of those points coming at the free throw line for one of the top free throw shooters in the country. Pace. Spinning. Now trying to ward off Rapp. Her shot was off. Newbert grabbed the offensive board, and then a foul is called on the floor. That's going to go against Garrison. That's Garrison's second personal foul. St. Mary's ran into foul trouble in the second quarter, as now 3 different Gales have multiple personal, pardon me, 4 Gales have multiple personals. First team foul of this second, third quarter. These are rented lips. Calfani didn't want the screen, said Oakrey gets freed up by Olinger. Pace across the lane. Hannafin nearly got a piece of it. Instead, it's a 3 at the end of the shot clock. That's no good, but Newbert grabs the offensive rebound and puts it in. That is the 11th offensive rebound for San Diego and the 9th second chance point. Meanwhile, St. Mary's has had 0 second chance points. Dalton had her shot blocked by Olinger. San Diego feeling itself here on the road. Pace, the pull-up, pure. But San Diego's got a game-high 14-point lead. Mastora and Bamberger set to check in for St. Mary's. Interim head coach Allison Fasnack looking for answers for her team, and Rapp trying to provide them. Cutting to the rim. St. Mary's is on the board here in the second half. St. Mary's in kind of a hybrid zone, trying to take away the post presence of both Newbert and Olinger. A 2-3 zone almost, it looks like. Rapp. And Pace goes right around her and finishes with the offhand plus the foul. Over 1,000 career points for Maya Pace, and it's because of plays like that. And a timeout called by St. Mary's. 6-0 run and a 16-point lead for San Diego at the 7:09 mark of the second half. It will be extended to a full. We will take one as well. Yeah, 43-29. We're back after this on the WCC Network. Maya Pace trying to finish off, pardon me, the tail end of an and one prior to the St. Mary's timeout, and is able to convert. San Diego now leading by a game-high 15 points. And here in the second half, they're on a 7-0 run, and they get a turnover nearly in the backcourt before the ball spills out of bounds. But St. Mary's right now losing its composure a little bit here at home. And I'm sure the reason for Fasnacht calling that timeout early in this second half, trying to regroup the Gales, who are down by 15 points here at home. And a wrap over to Tacey Whedon will fire the three-pointer from the corner. And that's the type of spark St. Mary's needs. Tacey Whedon with her second triple. Gales 4 of 9 from three-point range. Now, this is something to kind of keep an eye on. When San Diego holds their opponent to 30% or less from downtown, they are 9-1. When they do not, they are 2-9. So St. Mary's is kind of bucking that trend at this point, or should I say San Diego is, as Olinger drops home the J. Meanwhile, St. Mary's is a team that when they win the rebounding battle are 10-2. When they do not, they are 2-9. Hannafin cannot hit from three. Kalfani out of the break. Up ahead now to Oakery. Looking to dump it off. Sneaks it inside to Newbert, who lays it in. What a finish and what a find by Kira Oakery. And another turnover by St. Mary's. Pass looked intended for Bamberger, who returns for the first time in this second half. Pace all the way to the rim and misses the layup there. First field goal that San Diego has not made here in the second half. Mastora going all the way to the rim, gets bumped by Olinger, and will go to the free throw line. And so St. Mary's and San Diego will go to their bench. Ellie Croco, Addison Whedon, and Jade Kirasome. Looks like she's getting ready to check in for Mastora. Meanwhile, on the San Diego side, it is Hortsmeyer, as well as Melasungu Afiaki that comes in for the first time tonight. And McKenna Mastora makes both of her free throws as she taps out for Kirasome. Just the second trip to the free throw line for St. Mary's this evening. Size advantage on the floor for St. Mary's. Croco, Bamberger matched up with a couple of bigs. Hortsmeyer off the screen. An illegal screen set by Afiaki. That's going to be the second team foul against San Diego. First personal on Afiaki, the freshman forward out of San Bruno. Nearby, just across the San Mateo Bridge. Whedon to Bamberger. Double team, tries to spin off it. St. Mary's, and Tacey Whedon tries the three. No, long rebound, Oakery, and gets fouled. Wise play by Whedon as Oakery was off to the races. And Whedon, in sportsmanlike fashion, goes up and taps Oakery, says, hey, nothing personal, I just can't let you get that open layup. Especially not in a 14-point ball game. It looks like we're going to head to a media timeout with 4:58 left, and we're going to step aside and be back with the remainder of the third quarter. San Diego leading 48-34. We're back after this on the WCC Network. San Diego has made 5 of their last 6 field goals, and they now have a 14-point lead, 48-34 with 5 to play here in the third. Afiaki's elbow jump shot is too strong. Whedon the rebound. St. Mary's cleaning up their act in the last couple of minutes here in the third after San Diego began this period with a 7-0 stretch. Whedon high-low to Bamberger, establishing position, missing the layup, but Kroko's there, and then we'll filter it out. I thought Kroko had a chance to put it back up. Instead, we'll settle. 10 seconds to shoot for St. Mary's. Kroko from the short corner. Whedon trying to sneak it to her sister Addison, but right into the hands of Olinger. Slowing the pace is Calfani. 18th year head coach Cindy Fisher calling out encouragement from the bench. Calfani up the screen, rolling to the rim. Lefty layup is good. Calfani now at double digits. Along with Newbert, 2 Toreros with 10 or more points. And another strip underneath. Gives San Diego now creating 10 turnovers tonight for St. Mary's. And they've created problems on offense for the Gales. Okri. Now to Afiaki. 4 to fire. Top of the key. High arcing shot there from Olinger. No good. Whedon around the back in transition, trying to get it to her sister. They have gotten a little bit too fancy, but fortunately stays on this end of the floor for St. Mary's, down by 16. That'll be Mastora that checks in for Whedon. And Maya Pace, the East Bay native out of Oakland, California, graduated from Bishop O'Dowd High School. Re-enters for San Diego. Kirasome, backdoor cut, Whedon finishes plus the foul. Nice play off the inbounds as Kirasome found an open Whedon who goes over the top with a 6'3" Olinger. So Tacey Whedon with a chance to complete the 3-point play. Just the 3rd time St. Mary's has been to the free throw line. And unfortunately could not convert. Offensive rebound, Bamberger thought she got fouled even though Pace poked it out. It'll be off of the navy blue. Bamberger, first game back off injury, still looking to find her stride. Got into a bit of a rhythm there at the beginning of the second quarter. As well as towards the tail end of the first. 6 points for Bamberger on 7 shots tonight. Kirasome trying to get it to her. Instead, it's Whedon that does. Bamberger spinning, warding out the defender, finishing underneath. And St. Mary's, who got a big game from Bamberger the first time these two teams met. 23 points and a career-high 24 rebounds. May need a Herculean effort in the second half to come back from down 12. Make it 14 as Calfani uses the touch to score for the Toreros. 15 points here in this third period for San Diego. Just 11 for St. Mary's. Whedon with space. All she needs is a bit of daylight, and Tacey Whedon finds the nylon. Calfani giving Tacey Whedon just a breath of fresh air. And Whedon was off to the races with that 3. Pace the crossover. Now skips it. Nice job by Mastora. Put her hand in front of that pass, but it will stay with San Diego. Third quarter so far. San Diego 7 of 13 from the floor. St. Mary's 5 of 12. Two to shoot. Afiaki's got a hoist. Kroko read it perfectly. And not much there that Melasungu Afiaki could do as Ellie Kroko bats it away. Shot clock violation gives the ball to St. Mary's. So a chance to cut the deficit to single digits. And for the Gales, that would be the first time since about the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. They've been playing from behind all but 97 seconds of this basketball game. Kirisome. Pick and roll game with Bamberger. Nearly got caught for the double dribble. Instead, it's a foul on the floor. Basket will not count. That goes against Olinger. That's her third personal, third team foul for San Diego. And Fisher is going to go back to her bench and bring in Harsimran Kaur, or at least to the next inbounds. Didn't get the substitution in quick enough. Bamberger off the block, open for Whedon. Three-pointer on the way. Tacey Whedon finds the net, and St. Mary's is within 8. Tacey Whedon, 19 points on 10 shots. She has been lethal from distance. 11 points alone from Tacey Whedon here in this third quarter. Under a minute to go now. Pace off the screen from Olinger, backs out, now pulls up. Short, Bamberger there for the board. And San Diego, for what it feels like the first time in this second half, a one and done. .18-second shot clock, separation. Kirisome trying to get it to Bamberger. And it looked like Allie touched it last. Just third turnover of the second half for St. Mary's. Although they do have 11 on the game. So now Carr comes in for the Toreros. They'll have an 8-point edge. 4-second separation between the shot clock and the game clock. St. Mary's can get a chance for the final look. Carr will pull up, and a bit unwise. A lot of time left on the shot clock. Carr pulled prematurely. 10 seconds for St. Mary's. Kirisome driving, floating. Croco, and the last look for St. Mary's falls short, but a strong finish to the third quarter. After St. Mary's finished the first and the second in similar fashion, the Gales grabbed 6 points at the end of the third. We're back with the Forge After these messages, an 8-point ball game on the WCC Network. Well, St. Mary's found the range in that third period behind 11 points in the quarter from Tacey Whedon. She's got 19 on the game, and the Gales have cut the San Diego lead to 8. 52-44 for the final 10 minutes here inside University Credit Union Pavilion. And glad you're with us today on the WCC Network. Evan Giddings here courtside between two teams that are looking to get over on one another. Right now, 4th and 6th in the WCC. San Diego a game ahead of St. Mary's, and Maya Pace a big part of that. She nets the J, and Maya Pace now has 7 points in the ball game. 3 points away from moving into the top 20 all-time among the program's leading scorers for San Diego. Bamberger on the block. Going inside, just muscling her way to the rim, and grabs the rebound, but not before a foul is called underneath the basket. It's going to go against Laura Erikstrup. And Erikstrup, who is in foul trouble really early and often, 2 personal fouls in the first 2 minutes of the ball game. And they have not officially awarded the foul yet, but it is for Erikstrup. So that is her 3rd personal. It'll be the first team foul for San Diego. 37 seconds in here to the 4th. Gales at the free throw line. Bamberger's first trip to the stripe. And she splits. Allie Bamberger in her return from injury. 9 points on 9 shots, and Hortsmeyer turns it over. Mastora quick as a hiccup. Kirisome facilitating the offense, dumping it for Bamberger. Double team doesn't come, it's Whedon. She's had the hot hand and continues to fire from downtown. Stacey Whedon, 6 threes, she's got 22. And she has shot St. Mary's back into this basketball game. 6-point edge for San Diego. Calfani trying to cross over on Whedon. And Stacey stays in front. Pace nearly overthrew Newbert, who goes right at Bamberger and draws the whistle on the St. Mary's senior. So that will be free throws for San Diego. Now that was another part of the 3rd quarter too. Even though San Diego did muster 15 points, not many of them came at the free throw line at the clip that they did in the first half. Only 1 free throw from San Diego in the 3rd quarter alone, after 12 across the first 2 quarters for the Toreros. And again, they get to the free throw line more than any other team in the conference, as Newbert's first goes in and out. About 18, nearly 19 free throws per game by the Toreros. They make about 13. Newbert's second rattles home. So St. Mary's, who did not start the 3rd quarter off on a high note, 7 straight points for San Diego out of the break, finished it on a 6-0 run. Trying to maintain that offensive pace here in the 4th. Mastora, met by 2 Toreros, backs it out to Kirisome. Plenty of time on the shot clock. No screen from Bamberger. Kirisome, the crossover, hides it, finds an open Croco, creates some space, and draws contact with 1 to shoot. So Ellie Croco dwindling it all the way down. And just a second before the shot clock expired, but a nice job and hesitation by Croco to earn free throws. Amanda Olinger will check in for Erikstrup, who gets hit with her 4th personal foul in just 3 minutes of game time. Croco nets the front end. Under 8 to go. St. Mary's, who has trailed by as many as 16 in this ball game, cannot hit the second. San Diego with a 6-point lead, looking to activate Oakry. 3-pointer from the corner, no. And a rebound wrestled home by Newbert. Offensive rebound number 12 for the Toreros. That's led to 9 second chance points. Calfani makes it 11. Now she has had such nice touch with that left hand And Calfani's got 14 points for San Diego. Kirisome to Bamberger. Now faces up on Olinger, goes right at her. Left hand misses, but a whistle is called from the outside, and so that's going to go against Olinger. Bamberger has played physical in her return. Has felt like she has gotten the benefit of the call with some of these whistles, but perhaps corrected a bit there. Second time at the free throw line for Bamberger, who's got 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists tonight. Make that double digits for Allie Bamberger. Now, she's a player that averages 15 points per game. That's 6th best in the WCC, along with 8.5 rebounds per contest, number 2 in the conference. That is what St. Mary's has been missing essentially over the last 3 games after she went down in the second quarter against Portland. So her presence tonight alone has been a game changer for the Gales. Calfani trying to go quickly at Whedon. Not moving her feet quick enough. Hit with the blocking foul, and for Tacey, that will be her 3rd personal. 2nd team foul here in the 4th by St. Mary's. And for San Diego, they will bring back our Simran Carr. St. Mary's sticking with the same 5. Head coach Fasnack likes this lineup. Bamberger leaving Newbert all wide open. So she'll give it to Calfani. Pace diving to the rim. Nice help defense from St. Mary's. Extra pass. Newbert, the pull-up, just does get it off before the shot clock. It hit the rim, so there should have been a fresh 14 seconds, and instead it goes out of bounds. It's off of Bamberger. Well, St. Mary's has really had to work for every defensive rebound tonight, and credit to the Toreros making them do so. Pardon me, 20 seconds skipped back on the clock as Calfani lost the handle. It'll be interesting to see if San Diego tries to shrink this game at all, milking the clock. Carr at the free throw line has to give it up. 1 to shoot. Calfani does so. And that was dangerously close to not getting out of her hands before the buzzer, but they gift it to her, and Calfani's J is good. 8-point lead for the Toreros. And the bench from St. Mary's didn't think she got it off either. Either way, it's going to be a basket. Whedon has had the hot hand in the second half. 14 second half points. Gives it up to Kirisome. Kirisome now looking to pass. Counted by Pace. Whedon just has to float it up with 2 to shoot. Her shot is short. Calfani in transition. And here's Okri. Cindy Fisher rolling her hand forward as if to say, run the same play from the last one. It did take a bailout shot at the end of the clock. But San Diego is going to try and take some time off. 4 to shoot. Calfani. Pump fake. Pull up. Shooter's touch. No, but that's off of Carr. And so St. Mary's will get the basketball. Timeout on the floor. Media at the 5-minute mark of the 4th quarter. St. Mary's with work to do when we return. 59-51, San Diego leading here at UCU Pavilion. We're back after this watching St. Mary's basketball on the WCC Network. St. Mary's will need to outscore San Diego by 8 over the final 4:57 if they want to split the season series with San Diego. St. Mary's trailing here at home 57-51 as Aspen Garrison back into the ball game joins Mastora along with Hannah Rapp, Allie Bamberger, and Tacey Whedon on the floor for the Gales. St. Mary's hasn't scored over the last 2 minutes. San Diego has had a scoring drought over the last 2:30. Let's see if the Gales can take advantage. Whedon being defended by Okri will give it up. Now 8 to shoot for Rapp. Runs into a double team, but finds the open cutter. Garrison misses with the left hand. Bamberger fighting for it underneath, and it's out of bounds off of Carr. So sticks with the Gales. 20 seconds back on the shot clock. Bamberger has got 11 points in her return off injury. Spins on Carr, has it poked away. Thought she got fouled, but a nice job in the interior. Nice post defense there from Harsimran Carr. Pace now, a pick and roll game, slows it up. Okri, who's had a quiet second half. She has not scored at all here in the second half after leading all Toreros with 9 points in the first 20 minutes. Okri, pick and pop, straight away. Newbert's three over the top of the rim. That'll be Gales basketball. St. Mary's has really done a good job tonight of slowing San Diego's offense. It's really just been those second chance opportunities and extra possessions which have hurt the Gales and have been the difference in this ball game. Meanwhile, for St. Mary's, it seems like they have gotten the looks the majority of the second half that they have liked, especially towards the tail end of the third, entering in the fourth. But not much time left to overcome this 6-point deficit. 3.5 to play. Whedon tries to bounce it into Bamberger, who gets caught up with Carr, and that is going to be St. Mary's 13th turnover of the night. And those possessions where you don't even get a shot, those hurt St. Mary's. San Diego again trying to cut clock and shrink this game. Carr over there to Newbert, 4 to shoot. Now Hortzmeyer has to just get it out. Newbert gets it away and makes it. Now, this is a similar situation a couple of minutes ago. Kalfani made a shot at the buzzer that they did not review. I thought it didn't get out of her hand in time. They gave Kalfani the bucket, and now Allison Fasnacht is going to want this play reviewed to see if Newbert got the shot off in time. Dangerously close. I think it's a 50-50 call that could go either way, but at least credit to the officiating crew recognizing that they had to review. And it is no shot. So the officials get together, make the right call. It's a shot clock violation. San Diego does not get the basket. And that's potentially a huge play with 3:03 left as St. Mary's remains within 6. Still a 2-possession ball game that would have made it a third. But either way, if you get stops, you got to be able to turn them into points. They've been looking for Bamberger. Well, Tacey Whedon's been the primary source of offense here in this second half. Rapp driving it on Hortzmeyer. Steps through. Has it blocked. Excellent effort on defense from the sophomore out of Green Bay, California. That's Kylie Hortzmeyer. She played big in the first meeting between these two teams, one of 2 Toreros with double-digit points. Stepping up on defense down the stretch of the second meeting. Pace to Carr, straightaway jump shot, no, Rapp the rebound. Fasnacht encouraging her team to push. Rapp tries to dump it off underneath. Garrison was there, but so was Hortzmeyer, who takes it away. St. Mary's 4 turnovers in the last 5 minutes, and they haven't scored in the last 5 minutes. The last time that either team was able to put the ball in the net You got to go all the way back to the 7:06 mark of this fourth quarter. So both defenses playing well, both offenses looking for any signs of life here in the fourth quarter. Palms getting a bit sweaty down the stretch with 2 to play. Calfani checks back in for San Diego. Kirisome returns for St. Mary's. And Calfani, who's been nails in this second half, he's got 14 points, goes right around Garrison all the way to the cup. That left hand has been money for Calfani. 16 points to lead all scorers for San Diego. And now it's an 8-point deficit for St. Mary's with 90 seconds. Oakery got caught with her hand in the cookie jar on Whedon. That's San Diego's 3rd team foul. Meanwhile, for Oakery, just her first personal. Pardon me, 4th team foul for San Diego. Something to keep an eye on should St. Mary's be able to earn some free throws down the final 122 of this matchup. San Diego looking for the season sweep and looking to keep St. Mary's in 6th place in the WCC. Meanwhile, San Diego right now stands in 4th. No foul off the ball as Mastora hit the deck, and then Garrison tried to get it back to the inbounder in Kirisome, but San Diego was there to take it away. St. Mary's has only taken 5 shots in this fourth quarter. 4 turnovers here in the fourth. Calfani to an open Newberg, goes up, short shot, but right into the hands of Calfani. A fortuitous bounce that he takes advantage of. It's a 10-point game with 52 seconds left. That might be the proverbial nail in the coffin. We'll keep it here through the break in the action. St. Mary's calls a timeout with 52 seconds left. But this is a microcosm. That possession was really for the entire game. I mean, St. Mary's plays about 15, 20 seconds of good defense. They force a tough shot from San Diego's leading scorer, and yet an offensive rebound, number 14 on the game, 38th rebound of the night for San Diego, leads to a Calfani putback, who now has 18 points and 8 rebounds in 29 minutes to lead the Toreros. St. Mary's began this fourth quarter off the strong stretch of the end of the third quarter well. 8 straight points and then nothing. The Gales have held San Diego to 9 points in this fourth quarter, but have only been able to muster 7 on offense. Mastora to Bamberger. I thought someone was going to be cutting. There was no one there. Oakery now fouled in the front court. And St. Mary's with 1 foul to give. They're going to have to do it again to put San Diego at the free throw line, a place they are very comfortable. St. Mary's scoreless in the last 6.5 minutes here in the fourth quarter. And so Oakery is fouled. Second best free throw shooter in the conference, heads to the free throw line. One of the best across the country this year. Now, funny enough, Kiera Oakery has a chance to score just her first points of the second half. And she does so there. She's now got 10. 3 different Toreros in double digits tonight. Oakery joins, of course, Calfani along with Newbert. And she hits on both. 12-point ball game. San Diego trails 22-47 in the all-time series, but look like they'll be able to pick up another win today. Whedon from way downtown. Tacey Whedon with 25 points to lead St. Mary's. And the Gales not going quietly. And San Diego has yet to step up and put a hand up on the very dangerous Tacey Whedon, who's now got 7 3-pointers. That is a season high for Tacey Whedon. Now just checking to see where it stands on her career totals. And she has made a habit of draining threes at an extremely high rate throughout her stellar career here in Moraga. Free throws are good there for Maya Pace, as Hortsmeyer will check back in, perhaps for defensive purposes. The previous season high this year for Tacey Whedon was 5. Bamberger will try her hand at a triple. No good. Shot clock is out for San Diego, and St. Mary's will foul. Now, even though it appears St. Mary's will lose, Tacey Whedon has tied her career high with 7 3-point makes. She did so on March 20th of 2022 versus Cleveland State. And St. Mary's certainly has had a bright spot in Tacey Whedon tonight on offense, despite San Diego being able to largely bottle up the Gales. And San Diego continues to be perfect from the stripe here in the second half. 10 seconds to play for St. Mary's. Three seconds. Whedon will hoist at the horn. It falls short, and San Diego takes the season series against St. Mary's. Overtime victory at home earlier this year. They need just regulation to do it on the road behind 18 points from Ayana Calfani, and the Toreros take down the Gales here in Moraga. Final score, 64-54, and we'll keep it here as we'll hear from Allison Fasnack before getting into our post-game coverage. But I mean, the name of the game tonight was second chance opportunities for San Diego. The two teams shot evenly from the field, 39%. St. Mary's shot 47% from 3, 8 of 19, and of course 7 of those belong to Tacey Whedon, who connects on a career high, or tied for a career high in triples, but unfortunately it was not enough. And so this is going to sting if you're St. Mary's, a 4th straight loss that drops you to 4-7 in conference play. 10-12 now overall this season. Meanwhile, if you're San Diego, a great road victory, and you've now put together back-to-back road wins, taking down Pacific on Thursday, now St. Mary's here on Saturday. But the Toreros now 12-10 overall this year, 6-5 in the West Coast Conference. As we get interim head coach Allison Fasnack here with us on the post-game program. Well, Allison, a situation tonight, obviously San Diego sweeps the season series, but just on a, on a bird's eye view, a game that looked like it came down to second chance opportunities and perhaps more chances to score if you're San Diego because of some turnovers. How did you evaluate this game?
That's a good question. I'm not real happy with, quite frankly, our energy and our effort at times tonight. For us, we talked coming into this game, we knew they wanted to push in transition. We knew they wanted to get second chance points. So, in the first half, they were just ramming it down our throat because we didn't want to sprint back and get set. And I thought we did a decent job defending in the half court. That wasn't our problem. Obviously, number 5, Kafani, was great in the second half. They kind of went to her a ton. Yeah. But I'd rather do that than give up points in transition. So we can hopefully make some adjustments there. But yeah, just unfortunate. We harped and harped. I mean, that's San Diego's MO. That's who they are. They push in transition. They try to get boards and putbacks.
Well, it looked like you found some success at the end of the third quarter, that 6-0 run going into the fourth. And then on about the 7-minute mark, just stalled 6.5 minutes without a point.
Yep.
What do you feel like happened on offense that prevented you from perhaps even getting a lead in this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, one, I wanted to roll with that group that got us back in the game. I like their energy, I like their intensity, and quite frankly, some of the other guys, I wanted to roll with who was playing hard. So probably they were a little tired. That's probably on me. And I think we really had struggles getting the ball where we wanted to get it to try and get Allie the ball. You know, obviously with what she's able to do down low, they're really full fronting and really high siding. We have to find a way to get the ball into her so she can be effective. And they kind of stymied that, and I tried to draw up a couple plays in the huddle, and that's probably overcoaching, to be honest, on my part. So probably just should have let us go back to what we do and try and figure it out that way. But hindsight's always 20/20 on that.
That's a fact. And I know someone like Tacey Whedon certainly not happy about the loss, but an individual victory for her, tied a career high with 7 3-pointers. Tried to almost shoot you back into the ball game. What did you see from Tacey tonight with 25?
Just her aggressiveness. You know, for her, she doesn't need a ton of space, so she's got the green light. If she feels like the person that's guarding her has their hand down or is a step or so further back, she's got the green light to pull. So I think it was a combination of that, and two, I thought some of her teammates found her in transition and off of some of our circle movement, which is what we've been harping on all year. Allie also had a couple of nice kickouts when they doubled her. We had a cutter. Tacey was the skip pass, and we were able to find her out of the double team. So all things that we worked on, so really happy in that regard, but unfortunately we couldn't really get the ball into Allie enough to kind of get ourselves to be able to play out of that.
Well, you do get Bamberger back today. Hopefully he can take that on the road as she tries to get back to 100%.
Agreed.
Pepperdine upcoming. Would love to, of course, break this 4-game skid that you're on. What type of adjustments would you like to see made between now and Thursday, and what would you like to see in practice?
For us, I think it's our consistency. We're a little bit of a roller coaster right now, and for me, we have to sub at some point, and our people coming in on the bench, whether it was a starter that's coming back in or a sub that's coming in for the first time, we have to figure out how to be on the same page and how to play as hard as you can for as long as you can. There should be no coasting. There should be no jogging. You got to play as hard as you can. You should box out every single time. I know I'm asking for a lot here, but we got to do something here to break this skid. We can't keep trying to figure this out and hope we get it. We're not in for these moral victories. We got to find a way to win games. So I'll continue to coach them, continue to help us in certain ways on offense and on defense to come up with a great scheme. I had no issues with our scouting report stuff tonight. I'd probably do a lot of the same things that we did, but we've got to figure that out, and I've got to continue to help them. I know that's on me too.
Well, hopefully you got a couple of victories coming your way in Southern California. Good luck on the trip.
Thank you so much. We'll see you back here in a couple weeks.
No doubt. Interim head coach Allison Fasnacht joining us with us here on the post-game program. Again, they'll be back on February 9th to take on San Francisco here at home before hosting Santa Clara that weekend. But obviously, Thursday, Saturday, Pepperdine, LMU, a chance to sort of get back off the canvas of your St. Mary's. 4 straight losses now for the Gales, who fall to 7th place in the West Coast Conference, now 4-7 overall this year. That'll wrap it up here courtside from University Credit Union Pavilion. My name is Evan Giddings saying so long from Moraga, where one more time St. Mary's falls to San Diego 67-54. The Toreros sweep the season series and beat the Gales here at home. We'll talk to you next time on February 9th. As always, thank you for tuning in. You've been watching St. Mary's Women's Basketball on the WCC Network.